Ebba.
I'm Veronica,
I'm Sanad.
I'm TY.
and today the four of us are going to change your perspective of coffee. Did you know that coffee is one of the three most popular beverages in the world alongside water and tea?
No, I didn't know that.
Different societies are brought together by this highly addictive hot black drink with its well-known taste. The addiction comes from the large caffeine amount that one cup of instant coffee contains. Because of this, the consuming of coffee is popular all over the world.
Andrea Illy, the CEO of one coffee company, wants the coffee market to be transformed into something similar to the wine market. The hopes of a better coffee market begins with finding possible solutions for the already existing problems. Price variations, bad harvests, and undeveloped operations for coffee growers are some of the challenges that the coffee market is facing.
A factor that affects the coffee price is the climate change. Global warming, heat waves, and lack of rain are some of many causes that affect the coffee growings. At the same time, the coffee market is being left behind, and growers aren't improving their daily operations.
So, how can the current coffee market transform into something similar to the wine market and prepare for possible price imbalance, bad harvests, and undeveloped operations of growers?
Will coffee drinkers face poorer tasting and higher priced brews as the conditions are changing? The solutions for the mentioned issues might be just around the corner.
Now, we will explain these problems and how they are connected, and also give suggestions to how they can be solved.
Judging from the information we collect, there is a big difference between the wine market and the coffee market. Not only did Andrea want to change the coffee market, but other coffee experts also wanted to change the meaning of coffee in people's minds. With the continued spread of American pushing for wine, specialty coffees follow. Importers, growers, retailers, and the bakers want to change people's minds and make people realize that coffee is not just about waking themselves up, but about having a lot of fun in the coffee. So now how to change the impact of coffee in people's minds has become an important step in expanding the coffee market. In our daily life, wine is a kind of consumable similar to coffee. But wine market is much better than coffee market. Compare wine and the coffee. The wine is more inclined to pay attention to the noble sense of etiquette. Drink wine so that people first feel the high-end and the elegant, and wine is in favor of business. In contrast, coffee gives a feeling is more convenient, petty bourgeoisie.
One of the factors affecting the coffee market is the changing of the coffee price. In the UK, people drink about 95 million cups of coffee per day. It's a huge multi-billion-dollar business to say the least. The International Coffee Organization is the biggest organization to bring coffee producing and importing governments together. Their main mission is to support the market and tackle threats facing the coffee market. Each month of every year, the organization publishes a coffee market report. This report contains indications and trends of coffee prices all around the world. It also compares previous price indications and helps predict where the price is headed in the future. Catherine Daniels, an expert at Oxfam America, says that a sudden price change can cause coffee farmers to abandon their crops and search for new work. Farmers in Africa and Asia can be extremely affected by low coffee prices, and the poverty in the concerned countries can escalate.
As we sip our coffees and espressos and read a daily newspaper, the climate change can seem like a distant threat. But if you travel 1,000 miles away to your caffeine addiction, the climate change is all too real. Coffee growings are affected by the rising of temperatures and the changing of rainfall patterns as a result of the global warming. Strong winds, lack of rain and heat waves are some of the weather conditions that are threatening the coffee plants and the production. The initiative Coffee and Climate is working to improve the activities of coffee companies worldwide, with a strong dependency to the changing climate. They explain that Ethiopia is one of the largest coffee producing countries in the world. In the eastern part of Ethiopia, farmers have been growing coffee for decades. A quarter of Ethiopia's export earnings depend on the coffee industry. Farmers are reporting decreased harvest as a result of prolonged droughts. Now they have a hard time to support and provide their families. Historical data of climate in Ethiopia shows that the annual temperatures has increased every decade. A study by Kew Gardens and collaborations in Ethiopia anticipate that the current coffee growing areas could decrease up to 60%.
Millions of people drink coffee on a daily basis, never wondering how this beverage they are consuming came together. The process that is needed to make your favorite coffee is a very time-consuming and tedious process. The coffee supply chain is a complex process as beans pass through the hands of traders, processors, exporters, roasters, retailers, and numerous others until finally reaching the consumer. The best situation at which coffee is typically grown requires farmers to live in remote areas with treacherous mountainous terrain, which limits their access to markets and forces them to sell their beans at lower prices to middlemen, who transport their beans to buyers. Brazil, Vietnam, and Colombia are the major coffee-producing countries, and this has helped their respective economies tremendously.
There is a connection between all kinds of problems. Why coffee market is so depressed and cannot match the wine market. A large part of the reason is because of the price. Low prices because coffee in people's minds is not very important. And the price of coffee has always been in a low-priced state that everyone can afford. But wine is not the same. Although some wine prices are not high, but there are some special wine has high price. So if the coffee market wants to change, and it has to promote the coffee family of specialty coffee. As mentioned before, Starbucks' approach is more correct. First of all, the basic thing is to let more people know about coffee, so as to change people's view of coffee. Second, there is a need to improve the coffee growing environment, the price of coffee, and the market orientation of coffee.
Now, let's discuss how the operations of coffee growers and the price of the coffee is connected. Smallholder farmers could be extremely affected by variable coffee prices, and the poverty in the major coffee producing countries could grow. To avoid a big shift in the market, farmers could take part of the indications of the coffee's future from the International Coffee Organization. Furthermore, a possible development could be that the farmers take the information about the price indication into action in their production process. A tool to do so could be the Coffee Market Report, which provides knowledge about how the production of coffee has processed over the years and where the production is headed in the future. As a result, the production of coffee could become more constant if more countries take this into consideration. In addition, if more governments join the organization, the economies of the coffee-producing countries could stabilize. This could result in developed operations for the coffee growers, and the poverty in the concerned countries could decline.
Something that has been noticed in the coffee market is a connection between the changing climate and the unbalanced coffee price. Because of the fact that crops are suffering and the quality of coffee is worsening, the price could decrease. Poor quality of coffee beans could lead to a changing price for the import and export industries. This in turn could impact the farmers' financial positions. Less income for the farmers could cause them to abandon their crops and look for new work opportunities in the cities. And once farmers migrate to urban cities, the coffee industry will suffer. A solution to improve the farmers' operations in the current weather conditions is the Coffee and Climate's field schools. Some of the adaptations that farmers are learning in the schools are shade management and implementation of windbreaks. This could help the coffee market to further develop.
The majority of coffee is produced by smallholder farms, which are small farms that rely on family labor. It is the backbone of agricultural production in most developing countries, with more than 125 million people worldwide depending on coffee as their main source of revenue. The climate change dilemma is a huge problem for these farmers, and since the climate change is one of the most important factors for these farmers that they depend on. Rising temperature and the changing of rainfall patterns had adversely affected coffee farming. Due to climate change, harvests are badly affected in many ways. Strong winds, prolonged droughts, and hail are some weather conditions that are threatening the coffee plants and the production. This means that this issue is not only affecting the yield amount, but also the quality of the coffee beans.
A solution to transform the current coffee market into something similar to wine market is to educate people more about the coffee industry and the importance of it, so they have awareness about the coffee's transformation from a simple seed to the delicious beverage they love. This could be made by arranging workshops worldwide, with Starbucks as a role model for this operation.
Supporting the International Coffee Organization and taking part of the ICO's coffee market reports is one way to prepare for price variations. This effort could also imply a stabilized future for smallholder farmers. By supporting this initiative, Coffee and Climate, more farmers can be taught to adapt to the climate changes. These suggestions can help the coffee market to continue growing. Hope you enjoyed, and we hope that we change your perspectives on coffee.
Thank you.